you. We saw earlier in the week the president saying he happened to walk by a TV that showed the debate that was happening on Wednesday night. I say good evening to our viewers in Japan. I didn't realize that our audience had the kind of reach that does there in Japan. But when you look back on this press conference, you were there in the room, and yes, he talked about what happened at the G20, but he also talked about Mexico. He talked about the Ninth Circuit decision on the wall that we learned about last night. He talked about Jimmy Carter's comments as well. Of course, some of that was governed by the questions the reporters asked, but help us understand to what degree he was animated or more animated by these domestic issues that were brought up during the course of that press conference.
Oh, he was very animated, David. There's no doubt about that. I thought it was just striking because, of course, that Democratic debate happened on a night when he had 6 different bilateral meetings. He had one eye on the debate that was going on back at home, that is for sure. And he was asked to weigh in on that very heated exchange between Senator Kamala Harris and Joe Biden when she questioned his history on race. Of course, Biden defended himself vigorously during that. President Trump said he thought that people were overrating her performance effectively. He took the chance to take a swipe at Biden. No surprise there. But I thought it was very illustrative of the fact that the president hasn't quite figured out what his strategy is if he does wind up going up against Kamala Harris. He's been taking aim at Joe Biden for months now because he's the front runner, but he hasn't quite figured out what will his line of attack be against Senator Harris. And we know that privately those in his campaign have said, look, she could be a formidable candidate in a general election. So President Trump with his eye certainly on the Democratic race to defeat him, even while holding these high stakes foreign policy talks, David.
We're going to talk much more about this in just a few minutes. Kristen Welker joining us from Osaka. Kristen, thank you very much for that and the coverage over these last few days.